Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just another lesson through the Spirit. It's like an exhortation for followers in this thing that believe in this thing, that have some type of understanding in this thing, and those of you that lack understanding as to what this thing is truly about. You have levels in this faith. You have ranking thing. You have ranking systems. You have men that's leaders, elders, apostles, prophets, within the realm of teaching the scriptures, right? So overall, you want to be humble within this thing. You want to take the low, as we've been taught. Sometimes you suffer wrongfully in this thing, taking a low, not exalting yourself, because the scriptures say you ain't supposed to exalt yourself in this thing, but let every man be esteemed of one another. Okay, so, one thing I've noticed about being in this thing over the years and, seeing groups and, different men come and go, you kind of see trends of behaviors in this thing. And usually when you see certain behaviors, you almost certain that a particular behavior would eventually cause a guy to falter or fall out or fall upon his own sword or become disenchanted or disgruntled. Because what I'm noticing about this Israelite thing, got a lot of guys in this thing that seeks preeminence. Okay, they seek to be the top dog or the glory one, or they seek to be this top dude, because everybody wants to be great in their own right. And you see this often time and time again. And then you see it with older men, men that have their own congregations, that start their own churches. And you see it with younger men as well. And a lot of times you pick up on trends, on certain behaviors, verbiage, just certain little characteristics you can see. And this is why the scriptures say having an eye south, man, because you have to be able to identify small irritants in this thing to see a trend in guys. Like the apostles always say, they say, well, look, you notice you start seeing a trend. When you start seeing a trend, you pick up characteristics and you pick up the way ones move. You could kind of tell, okay? And ultimately it's through discernment, because each and every last one of you brothers or us brothers in this thing, we should all have a level of discernment to some degree, okay? To be able to see certain things that's not going to be beneficial to the body or beneficial to your particular church or camp or individuals or anything of that nature, okay? Like, you got this group called the IUIC, you have Sakari, and then you have their breakoffs, which, other groups form out of those groups. And you have men that seek preeminence. And you see the trend of these men and how they move and their behaviors. As wanting to be the top guy, they secretly want all this credit. They secretly want to be the leader or the head, or they secretly want to be the one that's notable, or they want people to kind of look at them as being, this looks like they're trying to get a name for themselves, man. Okay, and we read about that. That's an example in Acts, the 19th chapter, when you had those vagabond Jews that were seeking to get a name for themselves because they was known for doing so-called exorcisms and exorcising demons off certain individuals. And then it came to a point that it was these demons that they tried to exorcise, and basically the demons overtook them, because they were seeking to be somebody that they wasn't. So for you younger guys in this thing, man, this is why I always go into it's a team. You got to play your position. Like on the Bulls, you had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Tony Kukoc, Ron Harper, Luke Longley. And each man had their position they had to play. Now, where Jordan was impressionable and he was inspired to be like, nobody ever tried to be Jordan because they couldn't be Jordan. Okay, Jordan was Jordan in his own right. Okay, just like Pitt was Pip in his own right. And they were comfortable with their positions because they understood the role they had to play in this thing. But when you don't understand your role, or you feel that you're too good for your role, that's when problems start to happen. And that's when demons start to fester up. And this is when attitudes start to come in the midst. And this is when personalities clash. And this is when, I know more than you type shit, or I'm a better head or this and this than you. I'm a better this when all the little petty bullshit starts to interfere in the way of the job. And oftentimes it leads to contention among the group to the point somebody ends up getting kicked out or suspended, or, they end up leaving. because they feel, well, I can be better. I should be this. I should be that. You know what I'm saying? I should be the top guy. I should be this. I should be that. But they're not looking to what this thing is truly about, which this is not about us, man. Okay, this thing is not about us individually. This is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's program. And he sets up the men that he chooses to be in power, or I won't say power, but to be in leadership or over the congregation. And he sets up the men that's the what you would consider the least men in the camp. That's what Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai does. He delegates the position of authority. Okay, we don't choose this of our own. Okay, the Lord chooses this through characteristics, personalities, experience, knowledge sometimes. Because you can have a younger man that's been in this thing longer than you and still be your elder. Because, you know, he just happens to have that experience, or he's more well-rounded and diverse, mature. Okay, as I noticed, there's a lot of immaturity going on among these different camps, man. A lot of infighting and bickering. You know, for something that we're supposed to be putting our best foot for and working together. But yet, I got to be better than this guy. He's getting too many views. How can I get this? How can I get this type of praise? And if you have that mindset and you call yourself being an Israelite, then you ain't in the right spirit. And eventually, you're going to fall out. Because that's a spirit of discontent, and that's a spirit of contention. You know? So even Yahweh Shai, he didn't seek his own glory. So this is the book of Luke 12. And I'm going to start at verses 48. And it says here, matter of fact, let's start at verses 47. It says, and that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did it according to his will, should be beaten with many stripes. And when you in that spirit, that mindset, that's against the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, and we see it all the time, man. When these guys, they pop up out of nowhere, then they set up the camps, their groups, and then you can't tell them shit. Well, I don't want to come under that order because I've been doing this for 2 years. I can govern myself. Okay, well, then govern yourself, man. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Because we can't tell you nothing. Do what the hell you got to do. Just don't come around us when you need answers, or you seeking some type of clarity on something, or you need help with counsel, or you fall on hard times. Don't come around us. And this is for us too, you know, in our groups, young men, even us. Hey, try not to get high-minded. Okay, don't think you get too big for your breeches. You know, because we got a few subscribers and a couple of comments, then, you know, men feel like they the top dog now. You know, and oftentimes that power will go to your head and get your ass out of here. Prime example, you know, look at the ITR camp a long time ago. You know, Nazariah was getting all this praise for being one of the top teachers in Chicago, was fluent with the precepts, you know, knew the breakdowns and shit, was good in history, very charming dude, you know. You know, had good communication skills. Everybody praised this dude. Now look at him. He's in the world right along with his buddies. So all them false praises and vain praises, that don't mean shit, man. Okay, humility. King David said, I'd rather be a door greeter in the kingdom of heaven. That humility, man, you got to really have a sense of humility in this thing. And you are fake being humble is going to come out eventually in the way that you move, the way you talk, the way you treat brothers, the way you move. I mean, it's obvious the way you moving. Motherfuckers don't see right through that shit, man. Even if ain't nobody really saying nothing about it, people see it, man. Okay, you could kind of tell guys that's doing their own or trying to secretly do their own thing and have their own shit going on in the corner while being among the body. You can tell, you can see it. It's clear as day. They may think that they pulling a fast one on you, but they clearly not. Like, you can see the shit. Like, all right, you know, like I said, with them groups that branched off, they come in the same spirit. They just branched off into different names now, but they come in the same glory hog spirit. The great debaters. But it says, but he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes should be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. So, you know, everybody that want that limelight, so to speak, you want that top dude position. Hey, there's no it come with a lot of responsibility. You know, you're going to come with a lot of responsibility, a lot of headaches, a lot of personalities, making choices that you may go against the grain of what everybody is used to. You know, come a rebuke. It comes with you being a bad guy, basically. Everybody hates you, and when shit fall, it's gonna fall on your head first. You know, motherfuckers want to put you to death. They were gonna get you, not them. Yeah, they part of it, but you the reason why everybody is coming in the spirit, because you the top. You know what I'm saying? And it goes all the way down. So unless you want that headache, hey, play your position. Hey, shit, Dennis Rodman, hey, played the perfect, what was it, the power forward. Hey, the only thing he had to do was grab boards and play defense. He didn't have to do nothing offensively because you had Pip, you had Mike, okay, you had motherfucking Ron Harper, he run point. Only thing Dennis Rodman had to do was be that defense and that rebound guy. Grab that ball and pass it. That's it. Rodman wasn't trying to be fucking Jordan. He didn't care to be. He played his game and he did well at it. So when we understand the position we play in this thing and be satisfied with it, instead of thinking somebody owe us something all the goddamn time, you would do very well. Okay, you'll go far in this thing. But if not, then, hey, you already know. But it says, of him should be much required, and to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. So this is why when you see at the top, you see more breakdowns coming through, you see more videos, you know, you see more authority being delegated, more questions being asked. That comes with being in leadership. All right, and if you don't trust your leaders and you don't trust the men that's over you to do the right thing and make the right choices and to make the ship sail smoothly, then you ain't in the right place. Because clearly you're going to have a problem with it. Well, I don't like the way that's being done. Why is it being done this way? Why is it that way? Why can't it be this way? Don't worry about it, man. Just play your position. Well, they doing this over here. Y'all doing that over there. We doing this over here. Mind your business. Stop worrying about what every fucking body else is doing. Focus on your shit. And that's the problem. You got too many fucking talebearers in this thing. Too many busybodies. Busybody. Here. I'm not worried about what another man is doing. Another man is doing great works. I'll let that work motivate me to do better works. But you only can do what your spirit requires. Everybody is not that, brother. Everybody's not him. Everybody's not him or them. You know? So, you got to be careful in this thing, man. Scriptures say keep your eyes single. All right? This is the book of Galatians 5. And I'm going to start at verses. Let's start at verses 21. Matter of fact, start at 20. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, because ultimately that's a worldly mindset. You know, I want to be the guy. I want to be that dude. And we see it with these different groups all the time. You know, like look at the IUIC. This guy Nate, Apostle Tahara said, call him Nate God. You know, because Nate want to be that dude. You know, but you always gonna have somebody under Nate that want to take his position, or that want to be just like him, or that want to be him, because, you know, Jake just broken like that. You know, Jake just like, look, I want some of the Kool-Aid too. Like, damn, nigga, sit back and let the Lord exalt us. The scriptures say that he that abased him. I mean, he that exalted himself should be abased. Those that are first should be last. Those that are last should be first. So the greater you are, the more humble you have to be. You know? But it says, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, strife, okay? Envyings, murders. Envying is a big thing. Drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I also told you in the times past, that they which do such things should not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Okay? So when you go into variance, let's look this up. And that word goes into contention, strife, wrangling. Go into the word wrangling. Arguments. Engage in long, complicated dispute or argument. And oftentimes those behaviors lead into arguments. You know, to rebukes, to suspensions, to you getting kicked out, to bitterness. Now, you know, all of the laundry, all that shit comes out, you know, what you didn't do, why you didn't do this, you wasn't good enough here, he didn't do this, and it just become a blame game at that. And I've seen it too many times. You know, men that get kicked out or fall out, and all of a sudden they hate the men they was doing the work with, all because they feel some type of way because they didn't get their way. That's childish, man. We can't be like that in this thing. But you're going to have that because, like I said, You got the best and worst. Like, I've met some of the best people in this thing, and I've met some of the worst people in this thing. You're going to have snakes in this thing. You're going to have agents. You're going to have turncoats. You're going to have men that's going to betray you. You're going to have men that had their own motive from the beginning. You got men that's real fickle. You know? And a lot of guys that technically they shouldn't even be here. They shouldn't even be in the camps. Technically honest, but you know, the Spirit does everything for a reason. But if we had our vetting process if our vetting process was like today, it was like if we had a vetting process today, if we had this vetting process like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like we do today, then a lot of these guys wouldn't even make it into the camp. And that's just real talk. They just wouldn't have made it into the camp. Because now you could pick up on certain trends, behaviors, mindsets, man. You know? And it just, you're going to have that in this thing. How Shai dealt with it. And it reads here, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And it says, and they that are of Yahushai have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts, man. And a lot of times Jake don't put their flesh in subjection. Okay, because you have a battle between the spirit and the flesh, and oftentimes Jake lets the flesh win. And it reads, let us not be desirous of vainglory, and that's the point I wanted to make, provoking one another, envying one another, and this happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? Guys they don't admit it, but low key, they don't fuck with you. Like, I don't like you. You know? What does fuck this nigga think he is?